If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even your 80s, and your intimate life has slowed down or stopped, this message is for you, not because of judgment, but because your health, your happiness, and yes, even your memory, may depend on it. I'm Dr. James, and if no one said this to you, let me be the first. Intimacy is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. Over the past 30+ years, I've helped thousands of older men and women rediscover their vitality and rebuild the kind of connection they thought was long gone. And I want to share what I've seen, because the consequences of giving up on closeness go far deeper than most people realize. I'm not talking about sex as we used to define it. I'm talking about touch, affection, closeness, that feeling of being wanted, of being seen. When that disappears, something changes. And it doesn't just affect the heart, it impacts your brain, your body, your relationships, and even how long you live. So in this video, we'll walk through 4 major shifts that happen when intimacy fades, and how, no matter your age or story, you can bring that spark back. Before we begin, tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos that help you live longer, feel better, and stay connected. If this speaks to you already, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, so I can learn from you too. Let's begin. I once had a patient named George, 72 years old, retired math teacher, smart, kind, but something was off. He came in complaining of foggy memory. I used to be sharp, he said. Now I forget what day it is. All his tests were fine. No dementia, no stroke, no red flags. But then he mentioned something casually. He hadn't been sexually active since his wife passed away 5 years ago. Most doctors might have skipped over that, but I didn't, because here's what the science says. Intimacy helps keep your brain alive. Touch, closeness, affection, all of it increases blood flow to memory centers in the brain. It triggers dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, neurochemicals that keep us feeling alert, emotionally stable, and young at heart. Without those signals, the brain starts to slow down, focus fades, energy dips, risk of memory loss increases. I've seen it again and again, but the beauty is even small moments of intimacy can reignite those signals. A hug, a deep conversation, a shared laugh. These are not small things, they're your brain's natural medicine. And the sooner you invite them back in, the faster your mind begins to feel like you again. Let's talk about Carl and Linda, married 38 years, sweet couple. But when they came to see me, Carl looked 10 years older than his age. He was tired, gaining weight, slower, weaker. I feel like I'm fading, he said. Turns out, they hadn't been intimate in over 6 years. That's when I explained something they'd never heard before. Intimacy is more than emotional, it's physical medicine. When we engage in affectionate touch, the body boosts circulation, heart rate improves, oxygen delivery increases, muscles get activated, even lung function improves. And hormonally, for men, no intimacy means dropping testosterone, which can lead to fatigue, irritability, low motivation, muscle loss. For women, lack of affection means lower estrogen and oxytocin, which can trigger joint pain, mood swings, sleep issues, increased anxiety. This isn't just aging, it's disconnection. The best part, you don't need full sexual activity to feel the benefits. A shared moment, a gentle touch, even eye contact, and emotional openness. These can jumpstart your hormones and circulation again. It's about connection, not performance. And when that connection returns, energy often follows. Margaret, 74, came to me alone. Her husband had survived cancer, but something changed after that. They stopped being close, physically, emotionally. I feel like a roommate, she said, not a wife. That hit me hard. And I've heard it many times since. Because when intimacy fades, so does identity. You stop feeling like a partner, you stop reaching out, you start assuming you're no longer desired or desirable. And the silence that builds between couples isn't loud or cruel, it's just quiet, but heavy. People adapt. They focus on routines, on chores, on schedules, and slowly, what once was love becomes just life. This happens in marriages, and it happens to singles too. When you stop believing you're allowed to be wanted, or touched or cherished, you begin to disappear, not just to others, but to yourself. You stop laughing, you stop caring how you look, you stop believing you're allowed to need anything more, but you are. And it's not too late. You don't need a perfect marriage or a perfect body. You just need a moment of honesty, a hand held longer than usual, a message that says, I miss you. Even the smallest reconnection can rebuild the bridge. Robert, one of my most inspiring patients, said it best. I still flirt with my wife every morning. We hold hands every night. Sometimes we even get frisky. He was 81, healthier than people 20 years younger. And it turns out, he's right. Study after study has shown that older adults who stay connected, physically and emotionally, live longer. Why? Because affection and intimacy lower stress, strengthen immunity, support heart health, and improve sleep. One study in the British Medical Journal found that those with regular physical connection had lower mortality rates, regardless of other conditions. That's not a theory, that's proof. Your body was built for connection, and when it doesn't get that, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, sleep gets shallower, inflammation increases, motivation declines, and yes, your risk of illness, even early death, goes up. But here's the truth I want you to hear louder than anything else. This is not permanent. You can change this, starting today. I want you to meet Eleanor, 78, widowed, fiercely independent. But when she came to me, she said, I miss feeling like a woman. I miss feeling seen. She thought her time was over. But when she gave herself permission to feel again, to reach for human connection again, everything shifted. She smiled more, slept better, walked taller, because connection heals. Whether you're married, divorced, widowed, or alone, you are still worthy of closeness, of affection, of life. And no, it doesn't have to be sexual. It can be a meaningful conversation, a shared memory, a hug that lasts an extra beat, a look that says, I see you. The real question is not, can I get that back? The real question is, am I willing to try? Because every patient I've seen rediscover this truth had one thing in common. They took the first step. If you've made it this far, thank you for being open to this message. We've talked about how intimacy affects your brain, body, identity, longevity, but the thread that ties all of it together is this: you are not done. There is more laughter ahead, more healing, more joy, but only if you let yourself believe it's still possible. Take one step, smile at your partner, call an old friend, sit close, hold hands, or simply look in the mirror and say, I still matter, because you do. Not someday, not in memory. Now, if this touched your heart, leave a 1 in the comments and share with someone who might need to hear this today. Your best chapter might still be unwritten.